We're not going to put up with it much longer. Colombia is very bad. Mexico is run by the cartels. I have great respect for the president, a woman that I think is a tremendous woman. She's a very brave woman. But Mexico is run by the cartels, and we have to defend ourselves from that.
Well, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum has vowed to hunt down those behind the brazen killing of Carlos Manzo, the mayor of the city of Uruapan. Manzo was assassinated in front of dozens of onlookers at a festival in his hometown and have sparked large protests. It's the latest in a long line of killings of Mexican politicians who'd spoken out against organised crime.
Mayor Carlos Manzo mingles with the crowd at a Day of the Dead festival in Uruapan's historic plaza, moments before he is shot. Surrounded by his security detail, the mayor was struck 7 times and died of his wounds in hospital. Authorities say the attacker, who has yet to be identified, was killed at the scene. On the day of his funeral, demonstrators marched through the city calling for justice. Manzo's widow joined the outpouring of grief and defiance.
Even if they silenced his voice, they won't silence this struggle. They won't, because we will carry on his legacy.
The second largest city in Michoacán, Uruapan has been plagued by cartel violence. Manzo was an outspoken advocate for public safety. In recent months, he repeatedly called on the federal government for help and told the cartels to leave civilians alone. Authorities say the gun used to kill him was linked to a criminal gang.
The bad guys no longer wanted to be attacked by the mayor. He was actually achieving a lot for us, the citizens, and for Uruapan. He was accomplishing many things. That's why they killed him, and now we are in mourning.
Mexico's top security official, himself a target of Manzo's criticism, vowed to take action in the wake of the tragedy.
We strongly condemn this crime and assure you there will be no impunity. As in other cases, we will go to the bitter end to clear up this cowardly act and ensure all those responsible are arrested.
Dozens of Mexican politicians and political candidates have been murdered in the past year alone. In a September interview, Manzo said he didn't want to end up as, quote, just another mayor on the list of those executed. In the end, he fell victim to the violence he risked his life trying to stop.
All right, let's get more on this from Mexican journalist Andalucia K. Soloff. Great to get your time. This is not the first mayor in the state of Michoacán to lose his life. What's behind these killings, and why was this particular man such a threat to the cartels?
Yes, he's far from the first mayor. He's actually the 7th mayor just in the past 4 years. 2 other mayors were assassinated this year in Michoacán in the context of elections, and also many social leaders, and just recently a famous lemon grower who was organizing lemon and lime growers against the criminal groups that had been extorting them, was also assassinated. So there really is a serious wave of violence in Michoacán. And he was known for speaking out against the violence, saying that he would take hard strategies against criminals. And also he had previously been part of the ruling party of Mexico, Morena, but when he became the mayor, he ran as an independent candidate. It's also important to mention, as we know, Mexico is not just dangerous for politicians. It is also one of the most dangerous countries in the world for journalists. And in this same city in Uruapan, last year, a journalist, Mauricio Cruz Solis, was assassinated also in a public location, and it was all caught on camera, and he had just interviewed Carlos Manzo. So there is repeated violence here that has not been resolved.
7 mayors in the last 4 years, I think you said. Who wants to be mayor next? Are politicians willing to step into that role getting harder to find, particularly ones who are willing to take on the cartels? Are they getting harder to find?
Yes and no. Ironically, I think people still keep wanting to be mayor. I don't think it really deters that many, but it does make them demand that there is more security, which is what Carlos Manzo from December last year did have National Guard protection. And many people say if he had 14 elements of the National Guard, how was it that he was assassinated? He was assassinated in the middle of the Day of the Dead celebrations where there were thousands of people. So people say that that's the reason that it was hard for the National Guard to control how close people came to him. But I will say myself, I have covered violent elections in Mexico for the past 10 years or over 10 years. And I just last year was reporting in the state of Guerrero, which is right next to Michoacán and equally violent, and reporting on a candidate that her father had been assassinated as a founding member of the Morena party during her candidacy, and she had National Guard with her at all times. And as we covered her campaign, I was shocked to see actually the distance at which the National Guard was from her, if they were playing on their phones, if they were not paying attention. And I said, it doesn't seem that hard if someone wanted to assassinate her right now, and she has gotten repeated death threats, that she could be assassinated. So while I'm not going to say I'm a forensic expert, that I'm definitely not, I will say that I don't think that just having the National Guard around you can save your life, which we clearly have seen with this recent assassination of Carlos Manzo.
Claudia Sheinbaum, just quickly before we go, Andalusia, how likely is it that Sheinbaum says that they want to catch the perpetrators and there'll be no impunity? How likely is it that they're going to be caught? Just quick.
I would say in this case, there will at least be scapegoats that will be arrested. In many of these cases, the people who do pull the trigger are arrested. They do go to prison. But the question is, who paid them to pull the trigger? Because it is very rare that the assassin is the intellectual author of the crime. So I will say it is possible that there is not impunity regarding the person who carried out the crime, but I would say largely there will be impunity concerning who ordered the hit.
Andalusia Soloff, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it.